and we're not getting answers. Even the lawyers who say this is completely illegal and that they have a right to representation, the lawyers have a right to be there. They have a right for their lawyers to be there, but the lawyers were not allowed in when whatever investigation was happening, and they have no information. They're just saying, we don't know, and they're just waiting. So it's a very an insecure situation right now. We don't know what's happening. We don't know where it's headed. And we call on all members of the indigenous community, international community, to stand up and ensure that this persecution stops right now and they're released.
Yes, it's very, very disturbing to know this, because we have lost communication with the monks who are living internationally right now over there, and we do not know what's the situation with them. And it's so scary actually, because both sides, female monks, male monks, both of them have been very unreachable right now. We have been trying, especially I know for the female monks especially, we've been trying to reach them. We've been trying to establish communications with them. Even their own lawyers are not being let to meet the people on ground. And this is something frightening, because this is completely against the laws.
And most importantly for us to remember, these are the monks who are from various different countries, well educated, from various different backgrounds, who have left everything and come there to serve the people, to serve all the indigenous people. And this is how they are being threatened. I mean, you can literally see here in the pictures, circle for all of you. Here you can see how they're standing here with weapons, rifles. They were threatened with rifle at gunpoint. They were boat trapped. They were not allowed to, the monks who are from various different backgrounds. We have people from the US, various citizens from various different countries who left their high-paying jobs, their education, everything to come and serve the indigenous people and to serve the communities there, and have been serving. They have been serving for many, many months now, working around with the people, conducting various different initiatives, various different activities, including Annadan, free food distribution, yoga classes, mental health and wellness support classes, and so on. And today, they are being threatened at gunpoint. They're being threatened to their life.
And I also see a question from a YouTuber. Ma Durjati has asked, they were held on gunpoint. Yes, Ma, that is a rifle image that we just zoomed in and showed to you, that these were the people, they were actually held. We could only gather very few visuals, because the sannyasis there have been cut off from communication. They are under illegal detention in the hands of these racist deep state elements. So the situation right now is very, very serious, and this is a clear persecution happening right now, as all of us can see. So this is what is happening right now. And we also want to encourage any of the viewers, see, this is live right now, and any question you have, feel free to post it here. I'm seeing a viewer named Ma Sonali Gupta who has posted in YouTube, do we know what triggered all of this? Why is this attack happening?
See, the attack is happening just because these indigenous nations, these indigenous people are being empowered. And it is a racist Hindu music attack by the media, nothing else. Just because Kailasa stands for indigenous rights, reviving the indigenous cultures and traditions, just because of that, we are being attacked. And these indigenous people globally, if you see, they are fighting so hard, for example, just to preserve their forest. We can see so many examples of them globally fighting so hard to prevent deforestation, which is very, very important to mitigate global warming, for example. But even for that, something that is so critical, they do not get any kind of support. They keep, they keep fighting for years and years and years, but nothing comes out of it. So just because Kailasa Swamiji is giving them support, is empowering them so that they have a voice, so that they get the confidence to fight for their culture, for their traditions, fight for their environment. Just because of that, we are being persecuted, we are being attacked. And one thing I want to add also, illegally means our delegates, our monks, the monks of the Sovereign Order of Kailasas Nityananda, would be facing so many human rights, basic human rights violations, because that detention itself is illegal, which means they would not be getting any water, they would not be getting any food, they would be tortured, be it physically tortured or psychologically tortured. So many human rights and religious rights violations they would be going through. So it is very, very important that we bring awareness to this persecution, the continued persecution that Kailasa has been facing for decades now. Just because we want to bring global peace, just because Swamiji is working so hard to bridge the gap between the ancient nations, the indigenous nations, and all people, just for the sake of global peace and coexistence among all people.
And I would actually like to add over to you, Ma. And one of the important things, as you told, right, especially with regards to the illegal detention and what would be happening, one of the main reasons why we actually don't even have that much of footage is because all the gadgets of our delegates, of our monks, when they were on the ground, were one, destroyed, second, they were broken and damaged by the mobs who were there. And you can also see evidently on the photographs where the local mobs were pointing at the cameras when our monks were trying to film what is going on, trying to protect our rights. But they were damaged. We were only able to secure a few photographs, a few videos of what was going on the ground before we completely lost connection with every one of them. The locals, and when I'm speaking about locals, it's not the indigenous, it is those who came along with the mayor and the deep state races who actually arrived on the ground with the various guns and other weapons. Those people, they actually later searched the bags of our delegates, they actually snatched it, they forced the boat driver to anchor the boat, not letting the delegates to leave, and they were put there under the pretense of a meeting about unspecified documents. And but there was absolutely no fact, there was no detail about any investigation or a warrant that was there to either search. And later, even after the police had arrived, they had colluded with the mob, demanding the passports, ignoring the pleas and the safety of our monks. That's what we are looking at.
And Ma Parvati Swarupini is asking, is saying rather, did you know that international courts have repeatedly upheld that indigenous peoples have inherent rights to maintain connections to their ancestral territories regardless of borders? So there's no respect to international laws. The persecution keeps happening. And, for example, even this detention, it is an illegal, it is a wrongful detention that is against all international human rights violations, international laws. But despite this, violations, persecution keep happening. And that is why, again, it is us that needs to raise the awareness to what is actually happening on ground. And,